Alexander Schulz teeters along a 610-meter-long slackline in a desert in northern China. He's got to reach the end by sundown. He's already had to break off 5 attempts. After nearly an hour of intense concentration, he's made it. It's the 4th world record for Alexander Schulz in a single year.
Everyone had pretty much given up on me because the sun was about to go down and I was exhausted from the heat in the previous attempts. Then fortunately I made it. We're all thrilled.
9 in the morning near Innsbruck, Austria. 24-year-old Alexander Schulz gets together with his team regularly to practice for new record attempts. This time, it's not about the length of the line, it's the height. The slack line stretches for 40 meters between 2 cliffs. This sub-discipline is known as highlining.
On the high line, the challenge is the height. You can feel it, and that makes it harder than being close to the ground. The primal fear of being vulnerable takes hold. You can feel the edge of the abyss, and on the high line, the feeling is more intense.
Yangshuo, China, in November 2014. This slackline is 100 meters high and 375 meters long, a distance Alexander Schulz hadn't even attempted close to the ground. He struggled with it and with himself for 4 days and set a new world highline record. But the triumph didn't last. Just months later, a new record was set, 403 meters. With every additional meter, a slackline is harder to walk, harder to control.
The wobbling is what throws you off a slackline. So the biggest challenge is compensating for the wobbling, and that's a lot harder when you're highlining, because you have to deal with the mental aspect. Everything inside you is saying, you don't even want to be here. That makes you afraid, and when it starts wobbling, you're afraid of falling.
Johannes Halszewski, the team's video cameraman and photographer, chronicles every slackline effort. The world record attempts, like this one at Lake Eibsee last August. And the spectacular feats, like the crossing of the Great Wall of China. Or a walk between 2 cable car gondolas on Germany's highest mountain, the Zugspitze. The team are all dedicated slackliners and they keep coming up with new ideas. But the longest lines are reserved for Alexander Schulz.
As soon as you think about reaching the end, you fail, usually just moments or seconds later. And this is what I admire most about Alex. As soon as he's on the slack line, his movements are dynamic and fluid, and he's firmly rooted in the moment.
Alexander Schulz has to work intensively to get in shape to tackle world records. Doing yoga sharpens his ability to navigate ever longer and wobblier slacklines. One great ambition for him and his team is to walk a slackline 1 kilometer long. A few years ago, that would have been unthinkable. But now, Alexander Schulz feels ready for the challenge. He might well go for it sometime this year.
The major difficulty with walking 1,000 meters close to the ground is finding a suitable spot with the necessary vertical profile. On flat ground, you'd start much too high and unsecured, but now I'm sure it's going to work out. It's just a matter of finding the perfect spot.
Aside from the record attempts, more spectacular happenings are in the planning, such as slacklining over an active volcano. Alexander Schulz has no trouble pushing the envelope farther on down the line.